Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new chapter of class 11, that is chapter number 4, business services. So business services are basically those services which are provided to conduct any business activities. So they all are called business services. Let's start. We have mainly 5 types of business services. First we have banking, second insurance, third communication, fourth transportation, and fifth warehousing. So first of all we'll study about banking. What is banking? Banking is actually a very necessary activity for conduction of any business service. In that, the main purpose of actually banks is to take deposits from the public and to give them loan whenever they need it. Second, we have insurance. The basic purpose of taking insurance is the protection from risk. If the person wants assurance for the future risk, so that he takes an insurance policy in case if he suffers losses in the future, so he will be paid by the insurer. Next point is communication. Communication means when we are exchanging information between two or more than two parties and other party is also understanding it in the same way, that process is called communication. So that is also the essential part for business. Fourth, we have transportation. Transportation means distribution of goods to the suppliers or even to the consumers also. It means we are shifting the goods from one place to the another in this head. And the last point is warehousing. Warehousing means when the goods produced, obviously they are not consumed at the same times. So we need to store them for some time. For that we use warehousing. So warehouses can be private and it can be public also. In this video we will learn about two main services, that are banking and insurance. So first of all we will talk about banking. How many types of bank accounts do we have? Mainly we have 5 types of bank accounts. Let's start. So the first type of bank account is saving account. Saving account, as the name is suggesting, that in this type of account we keeps our savings. Whatever we save from the income, we just deposit that into our saving account. Obviously the interest rate on this account is low, but still it keeps our money safe. And the most advantageous thing is that whenever we need that money, we can go to bank and withdraw it anytime. Even we can use digital methods like ATM cards and net banking also to make payments from our savings account. Second type of account is current account. Current accounts are mostly opened by the businessmen because they do a number of transactions in a single day. Daily they need to deposit many times and to withdraw money many times even in a single day. For that they use current account. There is one point that we can note, that in current account banks doesn't pay us any interest. Even they charge some amount from the deposit holder or the account holder for the current accounts, as they are giving us additional services. Sometimes we can withdraw additional money also from the current accounts, like that we call bank overdraft. That is a special facility that is given to the businessmen by the banks. Next point is recurring deposit account. Recurring deposit accounts is actually a very good source to make your savings bigger. It means if we have small savings, so what we do, especially for the salaried person, that we open recurring account, RD accounts in the banks. So that what happens, that every month on a particular date, bank deducts a particular amount from our account directly and it just deposited it. So after the maturity period, the person will get a good amount. So that type of account is called recurring deposit account. That is a very important source, we can say, for the savings. Next type of account we have fixed deposit account. As you all know, FDs pays us high rate of interest, because in this we are depositing our amount for a certain time period. It is actually locked there. In simple words we can say, if we have a lump sum amount of 5 or 10 lakhs, so what we can do, we can deposit it in the fixed deposit account in the bank. So we cannot take it out before the maturity period. After the maturity period we will get the principal amount plus some interest, that is obviously better than savings account. Next account is multiple option account. As the name is suggesting that this is giving us multiple services, it means the multiple option account has the benefits of both. It has the benefits of savings accounts plus fixed deposit account. It means up to a certain amount limit, they just keep our amount as saving account. Wherever we just exceed that limit, they convert it into the fixed deposit. It means it has the advantage of both types of accounts. Now let's start with the second type of business services, that was insurance. As I told you in the beginning, the basic purpose of insurance is to cover our risk. It gives us protection from the future risk, from the uncertainty. Definitely it is not for the investment purpose, but it gives us certainty, it gives us assurance. So let's start. What are the main types of insurance? If we classify insurance in broad categories, so we can classify it in two parts. First is life insurance and second is general insurance. Life insurance means if a person is taking insurance for his life, it means the amount will be paid after the maturity period or on the death of the policy holder, whichever is earlier. So that type of insurance is called life insurance. And life insurance is obviously for a long time period, like 21 years, etc. We can take it for the long time period. Till that time period, we need to pay premium. That is also a certain amount. And after the policy completes, we get the principal amount plus some bonus and additional benefits on it. The basic purpose of life insurance is if there is only one earning person in a family, and if in case he dies, so his family will not suffer, at least financially. They will get the compensation whatever he has paid. Now second type of insurance is called general insurance. General insurance means except life, whatever the insurances we have, they all come under the head of general insurance. So here I classified it in three categories. First was fire insurance, second marine insurance, and third is miscellaneous. So let's discuss about fire insurance. Fire insurance is basically taken by a business organization to save itself from the losses that they suffer because of the fire. It means in case in their business, if there is some damage or loss because of fire, so they will get the compensation of the burned goods. So fire insurance is basically for a short time period. It means it can be only up to 1 year we can take fire insurance. And one more important thing, that like life insurance, we will not get anything at the end of the maturity period. Obviously, if there is some accident just because of fire, then you will get the claim, otherwise you will not get anything in that. Second type of insurance, we have marine insurance. As we know, for transportation we can use different modes, like if we are sending our goods, if we are transporting our goods through seaways, in that case we take this type of insurance. So if we categorize it, it can further be categorized in three parts. First can be cargo insurance. Cargo means the goods that we are loading on the ship. If we are taking insurance for that, that is called cargo insurance. Second, we have ship insurance. It means if we are insuring the whole vessel in which we are transporting the goods, that is called ship insurance. And third, we have freight insurance. The charges that we are paying for that, that also comes under this head. And this is also only for a short time period. It means it is only for up to 1 year, or it can be according to one transit only. Third type of insurance we have, that is miscellaneous insurance. Miscellaneous means all the other insurance that are left over here, they will come under this head. For example, we can say crop insurance, we can have our animals insured, we can have health insurance, etc. They all will covered under the miscellaneous insurance. So these were the main points. Now let us come on a very important topic of this chapter, that is principles of insurance. Mainly we have 6 principles of insurance over here. So let us discuss them one by one. First of all, we have utmost good faith principle of insurance. Now what does it mean? In insurance agreement contract, basically there are two parties, one is insurer and the other one is insured. This principle says that these both parties should not hide anything from each other. They should disclose all the facts that are relevant to the policy. Otherwise, you will face difficulty at the time of asking for the compensation. So that is very important that the parties should be truthful to each other. Second is insurable interest. Only we can take the insurance of that thing that is of our insurable interest. It means if we are taking policy of something that is not related to us, so obviously the contract will become null or void and we cannot ask for the claims later. Third type of insurance we have, that is called insurance of indemnity. Indemnity principle says that insurance is only to pay the compensation, means the damages. They are not giving us any type of profit. For example, we can say that if we have 10 lakh goods in our godown and they got burned because of fire, it got fire, and the loss was of 8 lakhs, 2 lakh rupees goods were saved. In that case, insurance company will pay only 8 lakh to the insured, not 10 lakh. It means they will only pay the amount of damage done. Next principle is principle of contribution. Sometime when the insurance amount is high, so we do not take insurance from only one place, we can take it from multiple insurers. We can use multiple insurers to insure our goods. In that case, if we face damage, they all will not pay us full amount. They will pay us only in a certain ratio. It means they will divide our losses into a certain ratio in a certain proportion and then they will pay us that claim amount. So that is called principle of contribution. Next principle we have principle of subrogation. Subrogation means the damaged property belongs to the insurer later when he has paid the compensation. It means if there is some property that was damaged due to some accident and the company has paid you the compensation, after that the scrap will belong to the insurer company, not to the insured party, as they have paid the amount. Next principle we have, that is called causa proxima. Causa proxima means you will get the claim only when the damage was done due to the same reason for that you have taken insurance. It means if we have fire insurance and goods were damaged because of flood, so in that case we are not going to get any type of compensation. Means the reason of damage should be obviously that is mentioned in our policy. We can add one more principle of insurance over here, seventh one, that is called principle of mitigation. It means the insured should try to avoid the losses as much as he can. He should also take some precautionary steps to avoid the losses. If in front of his eyes the loss is occurring, that time also he should try to minimize the amount of losses. So if we follow all these principles honestly, in that case insurance is must for any business, because business always involve risk that is obviously uncertain, but by taking insurance we can try to reduce it. We cannot eliminate the risk 100% from a business organization, but definitely we can reduce it by taking proper precautions. We will discuss about the remaining topics in our next video. Thank you.